Welcome back. Now, usually he would be arresting people for crimes, but this winter, Red Rock favourite Garda, Sean Holden, has hung up his uniform and is now stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Talk about good cop, bad cop.
I love it. Yes, actor David Crowley has taken on the lead role as Robin Hood, riding through the glen in the Gaiety.
Very good.
Thank you. Gaiety Panto, Robin Hood and his merry men. And David, you join us here on the sofa. Well,
Morning,
you're
David.
a busy, busy man.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, very busy.
You're in for a busy Christmas, aren't you?
It's gonna be chaos, but chaos that I'm looking forward
When
to.
do you start the Panto?
We start rehearsals next week. We actually had a read-through last week, and the show starts on the 27th of November. So.
It's amongst the Panto fraternity, of which I'm one, and Anna Hughes, of course, also of this parish, Panto involved as well. It is a roast of a job, particularly the Gaiety, I think, because it's a long run. Like, you're doing 14 shows a week.
Yeah,
From the end of November right through January.
Oh, that's grueling.
It's a hectic schedule, but as an actor, it's a very special show because, I mean, I suppose they do 14 shows a week because they can, and they can fill those houses. Panto, like you know yourself, it is huge in Ireland. You have so many people coming from all over Ireland to see the Gaiety Panto. It's been going for 150 years. Like, it's a huge tradition, and I actually did it a few years ago, and it was quite terrifying because I hadn't done it before. But at the same time, terribly exciting. Although you're doing 14 shows a week, every show is very different.
Yeah, because the audience is different.
Yeah, exactly. And as an actor coming from theatre, where you're kind of used to, I suppose, going into almost that autopilot mode after a couple of weeks where you get used to it. Yeah. You can't do that in pantomime.
No,
because you have to be so alert because the audience is going to be different every night.
You have 4-year-olds, you have 3-year-olds, and you know, jumping up and down, you know, the crisps, the chocolate, they get so excited.
Also, one of the things I think that not throws some actors when they go to do Panto the first time is, but a lot of the characters and the way they're written in Panto, they're given room to ad lib. So that means when you're on stage with them,
I didn't know that.
So when you're on stage with them every night or twice a day, the lines can change. You've got to be on your toes.
You do.
Or a lot of it's ad lib.
But some people are better. Some people are better than that at others.
Correct.
The first experience I had with pantomime, it was when we were doing Cinderella at the Gaiety a few years ago, and I come out on stage and I do this prologue. I'm like, I'm looking for a damsel in distress if anyone sees one, and there's a kid in the front row who just goes, "You're so annoying! You're so annoying!" And I just froze. That did not happen. That did not happen.
Yeah.
Continue, say the lines. 2 seconds later, I said you're so annoying. And I don't know, like, I thought of some fantastic things to say back about 10 minutes later.
Yeah,
but in that moment, I think
well, it's a real on your toes kind of gig because say if that happened to you 15 or 30 shows in, you probably would have said something back to him straight away.
What about it being so physical? Because my friend is an actress as well, and she does all the panto over in the UK. And she just said they're running up and down to talk to the children, costume changes, you know, mic changes. Are you not knackered by the end of it? Like, it's a full 3 hours.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's a long old run, especially in the Gaiety when you're doing those 14 shows a week. But it's, I don't know, the audience come with so much energy. Like, I can't actually, like, the thrill that you get from a panto audience, it's contagious. And that is what kind of drags you through it. And then you kind of have once it all ends, you kind of collapse. But during it, we have to, I suppose, remind ourselves how, like, you have families coming from all over, and it's so important. You have to have your porridge.
I go every year.
But
every year I bring my godchildren, and they are so excited. And I was late to the panto. It was the worst. My 4-year-old godchild, I know, I feel terrible. And she had the swirly things, and she was like, "Is Auntie Lisa coming? Is Auntie Lisa coming?" And there was the last people to go into the Gaiety panto, and I was rushing down to park the car, you know, and she was tears streaming down her face. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. She didn't miss one moment, may I add.
Well, it is the way it's become such a tradition for a lot of families and generations of families now. I mean, let's talk about the cast. Who are you on stage with this year? I know the brilliant Joe Conlon.
Joe Conlon,
is there.
God help me. God knows.
There's a man you have to be on your toes with.
There'll be plenty of ad-lipping to expected from Joe Conlon.
But Joe's a stalwart of
he's a veteran at the game. He's an absolute pro.
And a joy to work with, too.
An absolute joy to work with. And I suppose, going into this, you look at the other cast as well. Nick Rennell, who's another veteran of ours, and he's just another powerhouse. And then we have the lovely Kate Gilmore playing Maid Marian as well. So we have a great cast.
People do think as well, I think that, panto, they kind of, not that they diss it, but they think that it's fairly loose and sure, like you can do Anthony in panto, but you take the likes of Joe Conlon and Nick Correll, they take their jobs very, very seriously.
Yeah, of course.
Like Joe probably has about 15, 16 costume changes during the show.
Oh, it's another level. But you're right. You're dead right. It's a real skill. Some of the most talented people I've ever worked with have been in pantomime, and it's a real endurance as well.
What about the costume?
The costume.
Come on, we have to talk about the tights. Let's talk about them.
There will be tights. There will be tights. I tried them on last week, and we can expect a lot of tights
have
from the
you gone with certain derriere denier tights? Have you kind of gone for?
You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait
there
and see.
we are. Look at the boots.
There he is.
I love the hat. It's very cool.
Lovely Joe Conlon. Look at him.
And I presume you've no real costume changes, then you've only maybe one or two, do you? Or
you have a finale outfit.
Outfit. Is it a glittery green?
Robin has to make his way into the Cedric's castle as well, so he can't. He'll have to disguise himself somehow.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Oh yes, he does.
Boom.
Let's talk about Red Rock.
Yes, let's talk about it.
It's going from strength to strength. It's been shown now across the water in the UK, as Lisa was saying earlier on. It's an award-winning show now.
Yeah.
You were there at the night of the IFTAs. How was that night?
Yeah, it was great. Still recovering slightly. No, it was fantastic. I suppose getting that award for the second year in a row was just a real credit to every single person on the show. And
it was the biggest roar, I think, from any table I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was a special night, and it was. We still, I mean, you look at it there in 2 years, and it doesn't feel like that. We still feel like we're just getting started. And it's very exciting to see where it's going. And we had a terrific summer as well, which was the real prize for us that it did so well over in the UK. On the BBC.
But again, as I said to you, like with the panto, it's no fluke. That you're surrounded by a great cast there. To bring in Kathy Belton and Paul Rowe. There's a great gang involved in it.
An absolutely terrific cast. And we need that instantly with the show.
Yeah.
And not just the cast, but all the other departments as well, from the costume to the makeup to the writing. The writing is just fantastic. We're blessed on this show that we get to work with really good storylines. The fact that they've centralised it around a police station gives us a great opportunity to really get some good high-stakes storylines.
In terms of storylines, can we dip our toe in the water in terms of what's coming up for himself?
Teasers.
I know you can't tell us.
You can.
But is he up to his usual things? Is there anything coming from left field for him? As an actor, are the scripts for the new season exciting you?
It's very exciting because we're going into season 3 now. The stuff that we'll be filming now, that we'll be filming for that new slot at 9:30, which is very exciting for the show, that they put also the 2 half hours into a full hour, because we can just delve that bit deeper into those storylines. And in terms of content as well, we can just get that bit greedier and that bit more adventurous.
Dave, when do you get your scripts? So, like, when do you know? There's a huge thing on social media about, obviously, all the different soaps, Coronation Street, and they have these big crash endings. When do you know yourself about the big storylines?
We don't. We get our scripts a couple of weeks in advance, but we're constantly, they keep us guessing as much as they keep the audience guessing. Even the whole thing with Brian's killer, we actually didn't know till a few weeks before.
You were in the dark as much as the rest of them.
We were. We were like, who is it? But they wouldn't
I get the feeling there's going to be similar cliffhangers coming up, but he's not going to say anything because he's a professional.
No, he's staying tuned. Thank you so much for coming in.